It's like a pizza crunch without the batter. It's like the wood juice without the water. You'll never get the knickers I've had. What a fucking chance. Premeditated batter. Premeditated batter. How we doing, weekend pensioners? Good to meet yous, good to see yous again. It is Sunday, usual for the usual, silver usual. How's your day going? Is it alright? Mine's is, how the fuck would I know? I'm not a fucking fortune teller. In fact, when I say I'm a fortune teller, I can only predict my own future. I could predict yours, kinda. Except yours includes me. I'm a superstar of the future, King of Scotland. Absolutely running the show, putting the Saltire on the map. Get it up, yeah, Channel 4. But right now, I've just had the bulging on. Jimmy Two Guns, I fucking hope that's no reversed that. I swear to God I'll be raging. So, if this is reversed this, and if he's only clued up, Jimmy Two Guns, James McIntyre, he is the Scottish Better Call Saul. No, if any's have ever read any of Paul Ferris's book, Jimmy Two Guns is mentioned in it. He's a lawyer who is compared to a kind of Tom Hagen consigliere type character. He's spent time in prison. He was a lawyer, got caught with two guns, obviously that's his name, been stabbed, fucking been through the wars. The guy, what a story he had. He's just left the patter poofy, and I'm sitting doing my second podcast of the day. What am I full of? Black coffee. Been fasting like a cunt. You must fast to get forward. I just made that up. I don't you know that. Must fast to get forward. No, but so the bulging just left there, man. Big 2 hour long podcast, man. So that'll be gracing your screens next week. Let me tell you something. See, having a guest on, man, it was a beautiful moment. It was great, man. See, today as well, it's just been a really lovely day. So recently, this week, I have celebrated my 1 year being abstinent from all mind-altering substances. A massive achievement for somebody like me who never really experienced true abstinence outside of doing a fucking jail sentence. That's the longest I've been off drugs and alcohol since I started. Pretty much, excluding the jail. But it's a big achievement, and it's that alone is a great achievement. But in that year, what I have achieved is fucking outstanding. If there was ever an example of, right, look, here's a year of abstinence. Here's what you've achieved. This is what you can do when you're not drinking or fucking taking drugs. My fucking God, I've took a list of it. I've not even got the list handy. I might just get it out for the sake of it. No, I'm talking about, no, mate, you just wait there. You just fucking hang tight now. I'm going to get this list because what I know I'm going to do, I'm going to sook my own duke, and I deserve it. I deserve this. What have I achieved? That's what they say. One day or day one. I'm trying to find it. What was it? Achievements? What have I achieved in 2023? I released my first documentary. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. A Long Walk to Justice. It is on this channel. I started a 12-step program. I'll get back to that. I stayed abstinent from drugs and alcohol, as I've just mentioned. I put on my own headline gig, Poetic Profanity, back in March. My first ever headline show. Had my first boxing match back in September. Shout out Kinnock Boxing Gym and SK Promotions for giving me the opportunity. I spent 10 days in jail for Channel 4's Banged Up. Got a wee appearance. I got a brief appearance on telly, but I managed to do very well off the back of that brief appearance, should I say. And with that experience, I met a lot of great people. And I also nurtured and developed a lot of ideas of my own, which I've started to implement in my life. I appeared in my acting debut with Supply and Demand. Shout out Gary Fraser, the man in Edinburgh, for giving me the opportunity and keeping the opportunity. Gary Fraser, I'll give him a special shout out. Supply and Demand was kind of in the making for about 2 years. During that 2 year, I get the jail. I get a sentence. I get a 14-month sentence. whilst I was one of the cast, and any other production, any other director, any cunt would have been like, see you later, mate. No, Gary held after production until I was out, so I could act. He's obviously a great guy, or he's a dick and I'm a great actor. No, joking, man. It's both. He's a great guy and I'm a great actor. But shout out Gary for that. Nobody else would have done that, and I fucking commend him. I couldn't commend him any higher. I had articles written about me in The Sun, the Sunday Mail, Glasgow Live, the Daily Express, been on STV, Glasgow Times. I just need to get a wee appearance in the BBC just to round off my year. I just need that, just then that'll be it. But I'm grateful. Started my own production company, Sunboy Productions. The work's been coming in, slowly but surely, but it's been coming in. It's been keeping me busy and I've been earning. So I'm grateful for that. I've appeared as a guest in various podcasts. I'm always moaning that I never get invited onto podcasts. No, every cunt wants me in a podcast. I don't blame them. I'm an interesting guy with a lot to say, in case you haven't noticed. I passed my driving test, then got a car. And what else did I do? I supposedly Jordan McCann, one of the biggest stars that come out of Manchester, maybe even England or the UK. That's on the space of 1 year. I done that, and would I have done half of that if I'd still been on it, doing whatever? What the fuck? Let's be real here. Would I shag? And see if I go back to the 12-step programme. So I'm on the 10th step, 9th or 10th step, I'm not too sure. I'm near the end of it. I'm on the amendment part of the 12-step programme. And if anybody's not familiar with this, basically you need to list all the people that you've done wrong to in your life. Most of it's through using drugs or alcohol or whatever the substance was that you used. And you need to seek them out and make reparations for the damage that you've done. So all the way through the amendment, all the way through the steps, this is the one step I was fucking dreading, and I think everybody's like that. So I started this step a few weeks ago, and yesterday I phoned my sponsor and I was like, look, I've not really made a move in this, because what they ask you to do is make 3 face-to-face amendments, then you can move on to the next step, because the rest of your amendments you need to just make as you go on. So I hadn't made any, and this was a good, maybe even a month. I phoned my sponsor and I was like, I'm kind of slacking here. I'm just struggling to get people face to face, because I didn't want to message people in case, because you message somebody that you've not seen, that you fell out with, I want to meet us and want to speak to you, but speak to me about what? And naturally you'd probably, I want to make amendments for this and that. So most people would probably like, listen, it's all good, whatever they say. I'm saying this is probably my head that's saying this, know what I mean? A lot of shite. But I says to him, and there was a boy I've been wanting to make amends to. He goes to the same gym as I go to, but I've not seen him since I've started the amends process. So I'm like, alright. So I seen him yesterday on the subway, but anybody that's used the subway lines, he was on another platform. So I tried to judge it, and I was like, right, he stays in Govan. I'll get back to Govan, and I'll get him outside the subway. So I went back to Govan, waited outside the subway, never appeared. So I was like, right, and it was that way. See that way you ever went to go and meet somebody for a fucking square go? That's what it was like. It was like, come on, I'm sure try that way, your heart's gone, you're like, here we fucking go, man. It's like, a square go would be different, because if you go to meet somebody for a square go, they know what you're there for. So there's no element of surprise. Plus with a square go, you're like, right, I'm going to go meet a cunt, he's going to punch me back, I'm going to punch him. And then you don't know what way it's going to go. So I never seen him. I phoned my sponsor and he was like, just give us the advice, and he's just kind of like, right, because I says, I think I'm slacking. He's like, you're slacking. And he was right. You need somebody, that's the good thing about sponsors. When you phone a sponsor with any problems you've got with that, you need somebody that just lays it in the fucking line and tells you how it is. Because they use a phrase in recovery where they say, don't co-sign your bullshit. Pretty much it's like getting somebody to co-sign your bullshit. To go, I'm slacking. Like, no, you're not slacking, this and that. That kind of thing. And we've all done it. We've either done it for people or had it done for us. You don't need people like that. And you don't need to be a person like that. So the day I went to the gym and it was like a pool session. I had this podcast at 1, so I was doing the gym a wee bit early. I think it was in about 9 o'clock. I done like 4 exercises, sorry. And usually I would do a wee bit of bicep curls at the end, but then I was like, oh, I'm a bit of a rush. I just patched the bicep curls. So I ended up, I was stretching, and I was like, you know what? What's fucking 4 sets of bicep curls? Fucking 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. It's not a big deal. Fuck it, just do it. Then I can say I've done it. I went and started doing the bicep curls, and I think I was like 2 or 3 sets in. The guys walked into the gym. I'm like, here we go. And it was like, right. And I'm like, I'm fucking doing it. I'm doing it. So I approached him like, listen, give a wee word with you. Pulled me aside, and I was like, listen, made the amends. And he was like, listen, he was like, mate, it's all good. Fucking, we all go through our shit, and it's brilliant. He's like, mate, I didn't expect this, mate. I appreciate you coming up and that. I was like, shaking his hand and that, like, right, see you later and that. And then walked out, and it was like, wow, man. That feeling. And they talk about this, see with recovery. They say hang about long enough just to see the miracle. See the miracle take place. And that's what it was like. It was like a release. But it felt as if I'd unlocked or healed a certain part of myself. It was just some fucking thing I was carrying about for years. Gone. Dissipated. And see, with that, I feel as if I've unlocked a new level to my potential, because that's something I could have easily went, nah, fuck it, I'll do it another time, procrastinated or put it off or bullshit myself into no doing it. Now that I've done that, I've got that experience of acting, even though my body's like that fucking right, that fight or flight I've fought. I feel as if now that I can utilise that part of me to do it again in an amendment process and in other aspects of life where I might need to take a risk or be bold or courageous. And it was fucking such a magical experience, man. It was just wow, man. And just to do it was fucking great. Came up here, old Jimmy came up, man. 2 hour long podcast. We could have made it fucking 12 hours. You know what I'm talking about, man? So it was one of the podcasts. Anybody that does podcasts, see when you watch a podcast, right, and it's a really good conversation, just know that before that podcast started recording and after it finished recording, you have probably got more than enough content to do a full podcast. So it's like some of the best conversations you have occur after the cameras go off. And that's what it was like with Jimmy. Great story, man. I read his book. This is another thing, right? Jimmy's a Christian and a Catholic. And he believes in God. And so do I believe in God. But I don't believe in God from a religious perspective. I'm more a kind of like spiritualist. But I leave people to their own beliefs. I don't question it. And I don't try and push mine on anybody. Everybody's got their own beliefs. And it makes us individual. I got this book before I went on to Banged Up, and I'll talk about this in the podcast. And when I was on Banged Up, I was reading it, and one of the few moments that appear on screen, it shows me in the bunk reading the book like that. And I remember reading this book during Banged Up like that. I'd fucking love to get this cunt in a podcast. And a few weeks ago, I get tagged. Gary Fraser it tagged me in a post, and it was James McIntyre. Fucking, he'd posted a photo somebody took of me in the telly reading his book. I was like, not a fucking chance. So I messaged him, man, like, listen, saying, loved your book, can I get you in a podcast? And he was like, aye, up for it. So fast forward, he's just left my house like 10 minutes ago. So it's things like that. It's things like that just happen, man. It's like when you're on your path, things just fall in the way for you. Like when you make a decision to change your life, the universe conspires to make it happen. This is a mad wee Instagram, Facebook quote, but why not? It makes sense. It applies. But see things like that experience I had today, there's not a drug on planet Earth that could give me that feeling. Drugs are a short-term high with a fucking long-term low, depending on your usage. And see some cunt like me, I just don't stop. The reason I don't stop isn't because I love the drug that much. It's because I hate the come down that much. I'm scared of it. So rather than accept reality, I continually try to escape for it. And that's what becomes a bender. It's not because I love it and I'm fucking out. I'm sitting in my house for days on end sniffing gear because I don't want to stop sniffing gear because I need to deal with a come down and all the rest of it that comes after that. Fuck that. I'm fucking living in fear of a come down's even the thought of that, man. It gives me the chills, man. It's a horrible thought. So right now, and see, gone a year, but I've actually no drank or took gear since the 1st of July last year. So what is that? This is December now, so is that about 15, nearly 18 months I've not had a come down for. See that? To some people that might sound alright. Me, 18 months without a come down, it's like been magical. Even my worst days sober beats my fucking best days mad with it. You know what I'm talking about? And it's like, fucking life has just unlocked itself. Life has opened its legs for me to penetrate with my potential penis. And you've probably been witnessing this on my social medias, maybe not so much in the podcast front, but with the podcast as well, I'm following what's natural. What's what I'm getting drawn to, because you realise your energy, your gut's a brain. It tells you things. Maybe it doesn't do it in the same way that your mind does, where it acts as a thought, but it's a feeling. And you get drawn to certain things. See, drugs and alcohol and that, they disconnect you from your gut. Your gut can be your spirit, your intuition, whatever you want to call it. Drugs and that, they disconnect you. So since I've reconnected to it, I'm a lot more intuitive with what direction I want to go, what people I maybe want to associate with, or what kind of things I want to do. So that's how with this podcast, before I had a guest every week. Now it's getting somebody that I really want to speak to, that I'm drawn to. And see, for that, it's just a much more organic process. It's a much more enjoyable conversation. And you can't beat it. Honestly, God, if you're ever in a situation where you feel as if you may be struggling with drugs or alcohol or that, give it a fucking try. If somebody whipped out this new fucking chemical, this powder that was multicoloured, says try that, you wouldn't think twice. You would honestly be arguing with yourself not to take it. You know what I mean? You'd be like, come on, I'll just try it and all that. You wouldn't really think. You'd be like, fuck it, geese it, I'll try it. So why don't you apply that to getting off it? Because trust me, man, I used to think my life would be boring. Fucking on it. Yeah, I can't, man. I've never been more busy. And it's great. I'd rather be busy than bored. Because that's the thing. See, people that are like addicts, their brain needs stimulation. That's what their brain's getting stimulated by drugs. So when you stop taking drugs, your brain still needs stimulated. So you need to find things to stimulate your brain. Like for me, it's passion projects. Like I found purpose. And I count myself lucky. I've went into recovery with purpose. Before I had my podcast, I had my music, I had everything else I was doing. So getting in with that, I was already armed. I had like kind of a shield. I had something to focus on, because you need something to focus on, especially if somebody's day in, day out, getting up, smoking green, smoking crack, taking whatever. Or if your full life is centred around sourcing and acquiring drugs, then quite obviously, you can't just go and fucking sit in the house. That's depressing as fuck. That's how you find people can sit in the house for days on end because they're full of fucking drugs. You can't do that sober. You end up, I'm demented. Get me to fuck. You ever had COVID? Fucking dementing. But, whacking back the coffee. That's it. I went black coffees. See, with the fasting, try intermittent fasting. See, I find a lot of people that are ex-addicts, man, they try all these different kind of strategies and that, because you've tried every other drug under the sun, you've tried every other drink, you've tried to push your body to the limit with how long you can stay out mad with it for. That, I believe that's a part of your personality. You're like, maybe a risk-averse person. You're willing to take risks, you're willing to push your body beyond the limits, which is good if done in the correct manner. I was always like that. It was always like seen as a competition for me, because for me, that's all I had. Being able to stay out for 5 days, taking more drugs than the next guy next to me. You took one line, I took two. You took one Eki, I've took two. You've been out 4 days, I'm staying out 5. Yeah, I stayed out 5 days. Last man standing. All that shit. Because for me, that's all I had. That's all I could say. This is what I've done. That's my only achievements. But now, as I've just reeled off of that list, look at what I can achieve in 1 year. See, if I was 1 year I get mad with it, what would I have done? Get mad with it? And what else would I have done? What other carnage would I have caused? Because see me, I'm a naturally quite mellow guy. With gear and that in me, I'm a fucking crackpot. And no, the kind of cunt that'll stand up and stab fuck at you because you blinked at him twice. This one of the cunts, I just do stupid shit. I'm very impulsive. And in the wrong environment, under the wrong circumstances, I can do something that I'll fucking regret, which I've done many, many times. Done it fucking more times than I can count. Like every sentence I've done, gear or substance has been involved. So when people meet me and they've met me in the jail, they're always like that. They're scratching their head. You can see them try to do the maths. They're like, what the fuck you doing in here? Because when you meet me, I don't seem like the kind of person that does get to jail. But when I'm full of the fucking Chico, I'm a different cunt. It is what it is. It took me a long time to accept that. But now I accept it, I'm like, aye, and you think, see once you've been off it, it's like weird when you look at people that they, like the benders that sit in houses for days just sniffing gear with tunes on. You think to yourself, man, what a way to fucking live. And obviously there's people that do that and enjoy it. They sit and get mad with it and sniff a line of gear and do it. Fucking knock yourself out. If you're happy doing it, all the power to you. But there's a lot of people that aren't. And you look at it, it just does seem fucking insane. You just sit in the one spot, just don't move for it, and you just talk utter shite. It's not even compelling conversation, just talk piss, you play the same tunes. You fucking, it's crap, man. Live more to life than sitting in a council house in fucking Govan with the door locked, the curtains down, fucking... No, I mean, having to do a vote to see who's going to do the soap run the next morning, praying that it's not going to be you because you don't want to face the daylight. And then when you do need to go, you need to face reality. You go down to the shop and you just can't wait to get back in the house to get away. It's fucking awful. And then you drag it out, people go home, and then you're just sitting, it ends up 2 years left, and you're just sitting, not even speaking to each other, just sniffing gear, drinking the dregs, you can't even take, you're drinking Budweisers that are fucking down to the dregs, and then you're like, right, do we catch the shop now? Do we go to the shop, or do we call it quits? And there's that thing, and it's just, you drag it out, and then when you eventually do call it quits, you get home, and you're just like, fuck's sake, I owe this much, fuck, I'm going to be fucked for days. You wake up, you're depressed, you're fucked, you're stinking. You get up, man, and you're like, you wake up every hour and you've not got the energy to move. You feel as if you've been hit by a bus, but you're dying for a drink, but you've just not got the energy to get up and get a drink. You're fucking, your clay's already flared, the fear kicks in. How much have I spent? I've not even got that money to spend. Fucking, you drag yourself up. Oh, what, you get a shower. The water doesn't even feel right. You brush your teeth. Your teeth are fucking, have got carpets on them. They don't even feel right. Oh, I'll get a wee hangover here. I'll get a Chinese. You scrape together a tenner or something. You get yourself some fucking chicken balls and curry fried rice that you take 2 bites of and you feel like your stomach's going to explode, and you just lie there like, hating life. If you get a job, you'll work back, you're working the next day, or you've fucked it and you've patched work, and you've patched work one too many times, you've fucking lost your job, or you need to go into work fucked and deal with cunts, right, fucking your boss like that, right, this is it, fucking, no, I mean, enough's enough. We all like a drink. Not talk about, but you do it again, you're saying, I'm not doing it again, and you just drag yourself through the days. You're just fighting through work. You're in work, everything's just a pure effort. You're on a building site, pissing the rain, it's freezing. You're like, for every cunt's like, oh, you're off, good weekend, and you're like, no, Same again next weekend. Like, no. Monday club, no. And then you're not even want to look at your phone because you go into your messages like, oh, fuck. Birds you've messaged and been patched, fucking the shite you've spoke to the cunts that have answered you back, cunts that you've messaged looking to tick you to next fucking payday, oh, for fuck. That's if you still got your phone, if you've no fucking smashed it. And then it's just a slog through that week, and then it gets to like Thursday and you start to perk up a wee bit, man, and then Friday comes and you're like, ah, fucking payday, but fuck you out half your fucking wage. You've left yourself at 50 quid to get through the week. Every cunt's buzzing, it's Friday and you're pure scunners. You'll get fucking money in one hand and out another, couple of £100. And that's it, and that's life. That was my life for a long time. 50 quid, I left myself with a score. And that was the cunts that were getting paid. And that's when I did have a job, because I was one of the people that would get a job, get like a week's work, get the first pay packet, and that would be me Friday to Monday, job fucked. Getting back to my dad's house. My dad's not decorated his house since my mom left. My mom left when I was 5. Know what I mean? And back here, oh fuck, no money. My dad buys all his own food. So if I don't buy any food, I've nothing. So sitting there literally starving. Because I'm a mad gear fiend that can't stay in the house. That was my life for years, man. And then it eventually progressed into every fucking day. Getting up, no job, no purpose, no direction. No pals falling out with cunts. Because of the way I was acting. Like, it was hell. It was fucking awful. And now when I look back at that and look at where I'm on now, sitting in my couch in my 2-bedroom house, just recorded a podcast with a guy whose book I've fucking just read and thoroughly enjoyed. Got to go to my job that is very cushy. I mean, I've got my camera, my Lumix GH5, fucking 1,500 quid camera that I can record anything I want on. I do my production company work on. I do this in my studio with my laptop, my chair and that behind you. Life's fucking beautiful right now. And that's all because I just got off it. One simple thing led to miraculous results. And that's in a year. Fucking 31. Depending. I would say I would be being less than generous to say I've got another 30 year in me. I believe I've got a lot more if I just look after my health right. But let's just say 30 year. Imagine I can do in 30. Imagine what I can do in 5. I will take over the world in 5. I will be fucking worldwide famous. No, I will. I am. Because everything's happening right now. Time is a man-made construct. Everything's linear. The past, the present, the future. Everything's just happening at once. The human experience takes this in through the view of time. So right now, everything's just happening. But the way we're ingesting it is getting drawn out. So right now, I am the King of Scotland. I am mega famous, a multi-millionaire, a superstar director, actor, singer, songwriter, producer, artist. The greatest son of Scotland, who put Scotland on the map, who made Scotland worldwide. Hawaii Fivo, aka Jordan Robertson. He's sitting right in front of you. Recognise it and be appreciative of the fact you were here for the start. And I thank you for that. I appreciate your support for the start. It will be rewarded. You can brag about it. Know what I mean? Like people done with Jerry Cinnamon. Some he's can lie about it if he's want. You can say, he owed me money. I took him gear. I used to get gear off him. I used to work with him. Do it. It's fine. If it gets you your whole, by all means, as long as it's consensual, right? Don't be fucking doing any dodgy shit with my fucking name. That's all I'm saying. But right now, I've got my album. I'm working on that right now. That is a beautiful process. I'm following my heart with that. So if you want to know what I'm doing next, podcast, album, and right now, just focus on the present. Be present, because the present is a gift. There you go. That's all I'm going to leave you with today, people. But if you take anything from this podcast at all, just know if you get a problem with substances, anything like that, try cutting it out. It may be the best thing you ever do. Certainly was the best thing I ever done. And just watch this space. If you don't believe me now, you'll believe me soon. But anyway, have a blessed Sunday, people. Like, subscribe, and don't get wide. Catches.